We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Governor Ron DeSantis teams up with Turning Point USA to establish conservative chapters in Florida high schools, sparking LGBTQ community concern.
Candis Cayne's Drag Me to Helloween reimagines horror classics with drag icons, blending camp, scares, and glittering Halloween fun.
In Hungary, disinformation targeting the LGBTQ community has become a tool of politics and propaganda. A new investigation reveals who spreads it and how.
Tom Daley shares his experiences with body dysmorphia and bulimia, addressing unrealistic beauty standards and finding support from his husband.
Governor Gavin Newsom considers the 2028 presidential run amid mixed reactions from the LGBTQ community over his shifting political stance. And all this and more important LGBTQ news this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 11 million views, and we are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the Rainbow family. There's no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Thursday, October 30th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show. Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to educate and inform the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fest. Our magazine, events, and television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBT community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Larry Farver. Larry has over 20 years of experience in human resources, acting, film, radio, TV, live events, parade float design, production, and casting. He's also a board member of the West Side Association. Welcome, Larry.
Thank you, Alex. It's good to be here on this Mischief Night Halloween Eve.
Awesome. Thank you. And next, let's welcome our guest, Dana Davis. Dana Davis is co-founder of Mary It's Mary Productions with trans sister and best friend Candice Cayne. Is a versatile storyteller, writer, and producer known for her humor, creativity, and advocacy, crafting authentic, diverse works from her vibrant life in Wilton Manors. Welcome.
Thank you, Alex, so much. And not only in Wilton Manors, but beyond as well, in my vibrant life.
Ooh.
But I love that intro.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Alex Marash. Alex has served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine, media director of the National LGBTQ Task Force, and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Welcome.
Thank you. And I am going to take 1 second to say hello to 2 viewers who are relatives of mine, Amelia and Josh, to say congratulations on getting married this weekend. And I'm glad I got your new husband's name right for once.
Oh, that's so sweet. Congratulations, guys.
Yes, congratulations.
I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up politics. Ron DeSantis' last act may be to install a Turning Point USA chapter in every high school in Florida. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is teaming up with the right-wing group Turning Point USA, and he wants its chapters in every high school across the state. At an event this week, DeSantis announced a new partnership with the organization while renaming a debate award after its slain founder, Charlie Kirk. DeSantis said, quote, "We want to make sure that all high schools in Florida, anybody in a high school that wants to start a state Club America chapter will be able to do so. There shouldn't be any impediments to that, and certainly no discrimination. We're not going to allow that," end quote. The governor's remarks came at a New College of Florida event. The liberal arts campus he transformed from an LGBTQ-friendly space into a hub for conservative education, removing books on gender and sexuality from its shelves. Kirk, killed earlier this year during a Utah campus event, was known for anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. DeSantis said interest in Turning Point USA, quote, skyrocketed after Kirk's death, end quote. For many LGBTQ Floridians, the move signals yet another front in the state's ongoing culture wars. Now, you know, people are going to say to me, and I understand, every kid should be able to start whatever group they want on their campus, but the governor pushing this sort of stuff really is reminding us of just how out of control DeSantis and his buddy Trump are with the government. Now, of course, the problem for me is the other side then tries to say, well, we're not going to try and go to the other side to balance the pendulum. We're just going to try and reverse. It doesn't work like that. If we ever get a Democratic government, they should say all sorts of crazy things like, we're going to start a queer club in every campus. We're going to start a hippie club in every campus, something to counter it. But also, my advice to students, join it and use it as a way to make fun of Charlie Kirk. That's my advice.
Well, I mean, dismantling all the LGBTQ and in related, gender identifying organizations, and then the hypocrisy of promoting the Charlie Kirk legend through making him a false hero, is just, whoever thought we'd be in this time. Having come through, the marches on Washington, myself personally, going through thinking we were in a different time and we would never go back. This is just something we have to stand firm on and turn it around.
Exactly. And it's okay to tell people a dead person's not a hero. It's okay to remind people when dead people are awful. I criticized Jimmy Carter the day after he died. It's normal. It's part of life. It's the idea that we should just make everyone a saint after they die. I'm like, well, you can't do that. It's insane.
Well, and there's a difference between a Charlie Kirk and a President Carter. Jimmy Carter was a president whether you liked him or not, but he was presidential. This gentleman was a self-appointed lecturer pushing the right.
You heard it today, folks. Larry Farver says Kirk isn't presidential.
I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up entertainment. Candice Cayne's Drag Me to Helloween slays horror classics with drag queen magic.
Hello, my little candy corns with tiny horns. I'm Candice Cayne, and it doesn't get much sweeter or scarier than this. I'm gonna give you a cavity you'll never forget. Ouch. Venture into a wicked world of tricks and treats. These transtastic tales are going to drive you mad with anticipation. Welcome to Drag Me to Helloween.
Just in time to haunt your screens this Helloween, Candice Cayne's Drag Me to Helloween makes its world premiere moments before midnight on October 29th. The short-form parody series is part of a horror homage, part drag extravaganza, and all-out hilarious. Written and produced by Candice Cayne and the one and only Dana Davis of Marriott's Mary Productions, and directed and produced by Jacqueline Chesson of To and Fro Productions, Drag Me to Helloween dives fang first into horror's greatest hits and gives them a high-heeled makeover. This twisted, glitter-soaked anthology turns 4 classic horror films into campy drag parodies, each packed with fierce looks, killer performances, and laugh-out-loud scares. The Exorcist stars Bianca Del Rio, Sherry Vine, and Candice Cayne. When a Stranger Calls features Monet Exchange and Candice Cayne. Carrie unleashes Manila Luzon and Jackie Beat, Willem, Candice Cayne, Mario Diaz, and Nikki Castor. And Trilogy of Terror stars are Dana Davis alongside Candice herself. Whether scream from fear or laughter, Candice Cayne's Drag Me to Helloween is here to slay, celebrating drag horror and everything fabulously frightful this spooky season. For rental or purchase, you must go to patreon.com. Check it out.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for this project. It is so much fun, and the cast is incredible. I don't know how we got them, but we did. And be sure to go to Patreon, darlings. Let us have it, get into it, and love it.
Well, tell us what it was like playing Amelia on Trilogy of Terror.
You know, I have to tell you, Trilogy of Terror is one of my favorite horror films, and I'm obsessed with Karen Black, obsessed with her. And I had the pleasure of meeting her, and she was a dream.
Wow.
And she was everything I thought she was. So to actually play her in this I feel so fortunate. And it's my homage to her.
The whole event looks great. And one thing I noticed about this compared to a lot of other drag events is I love how you have like Monet Exchange, Bianca. I know that
Yes.
Candice has been a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, like
Yes.
Drag You. But you also had Sherry Vine and Jackie Beat as well. And I just love those two. They never get enough attention in drag world. So that to me just really makes us that extra level of amazing.
You know, they're very dear friends of mine, and Candice and I just, you know, we love them so much. And they're so, so talented. And, you know, Sherry travels the world. I mean, so many different genre things she's doing all around the world. They went to Greece in the summer, actually.
I remember seeing Jackie Beat perform. You're all going to realize how old I am. The day after Michael Jackson died in New York City for Pride.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, she does the song, and they're like, do you want Michael Jackson? She's like, I can't do that. It just happened yesterday. Boom. She started a whole new song with a Michael Jackson parody. She worked so hard, and like, I've seen her in P-Town. But
Amazing.
Yeah, and like, she's good at dealing with hecklers, like straight people with their kids on the street. Will be like, can you not use those words? She's like, I am a drag queen.
Yeah.
You try to be at P-Town at 6 o'clock at night. You know better. I'm like, good for you, Jackie. I love her. Love her and Sherry.
Well, and being a big fan of some of the things, especially the Trilogy of Terror episode that you star in with Candice Cayne. I've seen it, you know, on the show Svengoolie, and you do such a great homage between the two of you.
Thank you so much.
And you really, being a Karen Black fan myself, you really channeled her. And I don't want to give any spoilers away, but you guys have to check out all of these features on Patreon.
You know, the first time I went to Jackie Beat's house in LA, she said, do you want to see my carry room? And I said, 100%.
Yeah.
I will pay you. I will pay you.
A carry
girl.
room? Tell us
and
about
she
that.
said, okay, come on, girl. And it was a huge bedroom that had everything Carrie. Everything you could think of. Dolls, posters, pots, pans, everything was Carrie. And it was amazing just to be in that room with her, because, you know, she is obsessed with Carrie. Obsessed. She knows every single fact about Carrie. And so that was an easy choice, Cass. Her playing Piper Laurie, which I love Piper Laurie, you know. The raven's name was Thin. And then there came blood. That was so good. But yeah, she tore it up. She's so fun in this. It's so great.
And where again can people get tickets for this?
At Patreon.
I'm Alex Morash, and let's clear up the world view. What is behind Hungary's anti-LGBTQ disinformation machine? False and misleading statements about LGBTQ people are now routine in Hungary's pro-government media. According to the European Digital Media Observatory, Hungary is among several European countries where disinformation about queer issues ranks alongside misinformation about war, climate, and immigration. Ahead of the 2022 elections, Prime Minister Viktor Orban's Fidesz party made anti-LGBTQ rhetoric a core campaign theme, pushing so-called child protection laws. These include bans on transgender people, changing official documents, and restrictions on LGBTQ topics for minors. Authorities even tried to use these laws to fine stores selling queer books and block Budapest Pride 2025. Disinformation often distorts Western policies, for instance claiming that Spain allows gender reassignment for 12-year-olds or that Minnesota permits gender transition for minors. In reality, these are deliberate misinterpretations of laws on legal gender change and gender-affirming care. Pro-government figures also spread conspiracy theories, from false claims that French First Lady Brigitte Macron is transgender to manipulating videos of Olympic boxer Amani Khalif. Hungarian state outlets misrepresent EU grants and Pride events, sometimes linking unrelated crimes to Pride marches or claiming the Budapest parade was banned. Some outlets still promote conversion therapy, despite the UN and WHO declaring it's abusive and unscientific. In Hungary's media landscape, anti-LGBTQ disinformation is not random. It's strategic, state-aligned, and deeply harmful. And I think queer Americans should understand that idea of like the propaganda machine coming out of Hungary's media, it's strategic, state-specific, it's state-aligned, and deeply harmful. You can also say the same thing about too much of American media today. You know, many viewers know I used to write for Media Matters, and looking at how Fox works, and how Fox, for decades, they would get their talking points from the Republican Party ahead of time, and they do the same sorts of lies and misinformation. The idea of connecting queerness to crimes, completely unrelated crimes. What we're seeing, sadly, in Hungary, I think is both a reflection of what we've seen in America before and my horrors of what I think where America could be going.
Well, the right wing is giving approval. People look to our country as America, and to think that there's no ambassadors or anyone, and really it makes the UN powerless as much as they're trying to discourage that type of behavior. And certainly we're not going to have Trump and his administration penalizing any relations. If anything, they may applaud it, which is very sad commentary.
It's so scary. And it's like going back in history, and it's just like they're trying to push everything back.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense. For what reason, except just to be a complete hateful asshole.
A scary thing with the reasoning is it is often designed to either be a distraction or to gin up your own support by showing hate towards others. Yeah.
It's like, let's put all the problems on LGBTQ plus people. Yeah. Like, forget about infrastructure or the environment or the taxes or inflation. Let's just talk about how we got to get rid of the LGBTQ plus.
Exactly. And it's designed to distract for things like incompetence, or Soban, his taste in fashion. Like, awful looking man.
And using fear. Fear.
Well, it's
And that beast, I mean, give me a break.
Yes.
I know.
It's global bullying. I mean,
hateful.
That's what it is. It is.
Yeah, really, really hateful. I don't know. Did when he was a kid, did a gay adult run over his dog or something? Like, why is so
right? No, like
so hateful?
Yeah, untold story.
Where does it come from? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand it. You know, but it is a reflection when I think back to going to high school a couple of years ago. You know, it was similar to what's going on now. Yeah. It really was. I mean, teachers would bully gay kids in the classroom in front of other people and think it was funny, think it was okay.
Yeah. People, you know, I'm not going to say what year I graduated kids, because I think the 2-0 happened by now. But even people wouldn't think back then it wasn't as bad as you think, but like
it was okay.
They would allow all sorts of homophobia in class, and you know, up until recently, we used to think, well, maybe it's no longer okay to be mean to queers, but it's definitely looking both in Hungary and in America that it's once again okay to be transphobic and homophobic again.
But this one is like extra hateful. He is really scary. Something happened to him. Something, I don't know, he hit his head or something. I don't know what happened, but he's a nightmare.
Is that you?
Nightmare. But again, they're not going to erase us. There's no way they can erase our history, our vocabulary, our fabulousness, our intelligence.
That's right.
And our beauty.
We've all been here since the beginning of time.
Yeah, they can't erase our history. There's no way. There's no way.
Exactly.
I'm Larry Farber, and let's queer up health. Tom Daley opens up about bulimia and body image pressures in the gay community. Olympic champion and TV personality Tom Daley is speaking candidly about his struggles with body dysmorphia and bulimia, relieving the deep impact of unrealistic body expectations within our gay community. In an interview with Radio Times, Daley reflected on how his husband, Dustin Lance Black, has been his emotional anchor. Daley said, quote, "My husband's been a huge support in that. I think it's a big thing in the gay world. Some people have very unrealistic body expectations," end quote. The 31-year-old admitted that even as an Olympian, he feels pressure at the gym. Quote, "I go to the gym and hate it because I'm like, oh my God, everyone's judging me for how I'm doing this. I find it intimidating," end quote. Daley traced the roots of his struggle back to age 17 when his performance director told him he was overweight. He recalls, quote, I used to get so hungry that I'd binge. When I binged, I felt so bad that I was bulimic for a while. It was a dark time because I didn't have anyone to talk about it," end quote. Now, through his documentary, Tom Daley, 1.6 Seconds, he hopes that sharing his story helps others feel less alone. Well, I think he still looks good. His husband looks good. Personally, I can certainly relate to the pressures. I can't relate to the pressures of training as an Olympian, but we were talking right before the story aired, and I was saying I made a quick change getting off of I-95 and changed my shirt, and I said, boy, if people saw what I looked like, and I said, boy, I must have real dysmorphia. But luckily, I'm not bulimic at this point, as you can tell. So, my goodness, body dysmorphia. But the pressures of being an Olympian, I can't imagine all the years he spent as probably high school age, 17, if I'm not mistaken, and what you need to do and the sacrifices. But he's a champion. He's made our country and our community very proud. And I think it's something to be proud of, to also share a story so that hopefully it helps anyone, whether they're part of the LGBT community or an ally or people out there, just to see that we have the same problems as many champions do.
And like body dysmorphia and image, like we in this country have been really messed up on this stuff. Like I'm one of those millennials that remembers when like Britney Spears came out on MTV for her Blackout like album thing, and everyone thought she was so fat, and I'm like, she was crazy skinny back then. So like I get that, and like body dysmorphia is real. Pretty people can have body dysmorphia too, and so I feel that for Tom Daley, and at the same time, if Tom Daley wasn't pretty, he would not have a news story today about his body dysmorphia. Like, he is famous because he's a looker. So, like, I think we also have to balance the facts of, like, yes, he's dealt with real struggles, and he gets those attention because, we already saw the pictures of him in just a swimsuit. Like, he looked pretty fine.
I just, the thing is, like, growing up, it's like I had no choice to get a really thick skin.
Yeah.
And people were screaming at me from all angles. Adults, kids, everyone screaming at me about something, the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I act, the way I think. And it in a way, it enabled me to grow and not worry about stupid stuff like that,
And he's very lucky to have a husband like Dustin Lance Black. You look at especially when you're in the limelight, or, even here in Wilton Manors, one of the biggest gay meccas in the world, in the country, you have to look at that and say, that's a positive role model in being a spouse and being supportive.
Yes, and stop beating yourself up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And you can fall down a rabbit hole, especially when you're LGBTQ+. You really can, So, like, you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself.
I do think, like, we don't talk enough about, like, when we're as community members are younger, we are very hard on ourselves. Like, I was never quite as skinny as Tom Daley, but I was pretty close, and I used to think I was so fat. And I know so many other gay men where if I had one piece of advice for every gay boy out there, you're not fat, you're much prettier than you think you are, love yourself.
Definitely, love yourself no matter what size you are.
Exactly.
It's
great
about
advice.
that.
I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up politics. Newsom eyes 2028 run. Is he an LGBTQ champion or controversial ally? California Governor Gavin Newsom has confirmed he's giving, quote, serious thought end quote, to running for president in 2028, but says no decision will come until after the 2026 midterms. Speaking on CBS News Sunday morning, Newsom admitted saying, quote, yeah, I'd be lying otherwise, end quote. Once hailed as an LGBTQ hero for declaring marriage equality in San Francisco in 2004's Winter of Love, Newsom's record since then has been both celebrated and criticized. He signed laws protecting trans youth from forced outing, created California's Sanctuary for Gender-Affirming Care, and blocked schools that rejected lessons from about Harvey Milk. But his recent actions have raised eyebrows. He withdrew $40 million from LGBTQ plus health programs and sparked outrage after agreeing with far-right activist Charlie Kirk that it's, quote, deeply unfair, end quote, for trans girls to compete with cisgender athletes. While Newsom has signed numerous pro-LGBTQ bills, he's also vetoed measures on inclusive health education and hormone coverage. As speculation builds about 2028, many in the queer community are left asking whether Gavin Newsom remains an ally, or a politician balancing his ambitions against his principles. Well, you all know how I love to go after my fellow Democrats, and Gavin Newsom tends to be the one I like to use as a piñata the most. Newsom is the type of politician who has continuously sold out not just us, but any group that has served him, that serves his needs. Especially, like, he's, in the last 2 years, there's been a few labor bills that he's gone and vetoed against the local unions. Now, let me remind you, like, unions are a far bigger voting bloc, constituency. They have more money. They're more organized than us wonderful queers. And if Newsom's willing to sell them out, yeah, I bet he's going to sell us out. And the stuff he said on Charlie Kirk's podcast, the fact that he even was talking to Charlie Kirk back then, absolutely disgusting that he did that. He should have known better.
Alex, where do you think this is coming from? Do you think it's coming from the far right, that he's becoming more influenced with kind of that demographic of hate and shows?
I think a few people who think they're Democratic strategy consultants back at the end of the 2024 election thought that blaming trans people would win them votes, and it won't. Like, I actually wrote about Democrats to stop blaming trans people and attacking your voters. Democrats got over 2.5 million more votes for Kamala from the LGBTQ community than Joe Biden got. And I was like, you cannot trash the trans community and think you're going to make up those votes. We are still a wild voting bloc, but guys like Newsom, they just think they can sell us out at the moment's notice.
And I think, there needs, it's a good luck to us all, but I think there needs to be more transparency in the lobbyists that support the political campaigns. I mean, I know we're often judging the right, rightfully so, but we have to look at every politician. And, there is a price out there. And I think he's probably enjoyed some of the funding that maybe is influencing some of these decisions.
Yeah. I can tell you, since we're talking about 2028 talk, and let's why not? We got nothing better to do. Shows love talking about presidential candidates. I can tell you that Buttigieg tends to poll much higher than Newsom. Newsom tends to be right at the bottom.
So on side.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm all about it.
I don't. AOC does well. Kamala not as well as you'd think, but she might get back up there. But if you want my honest opinion, I've said this before with I think you're more likely to see the next Democratic presidential nominee to be an unknown millennial, like a Zohran Mamdani sort of thing. Right. And people will sometimes say, you're crazy, that's never happened. Like, yeah, we didn't in 2008, nominate a guy no one knew in 2003. We never do that. We don't like young, attractive candidates. We've never done like a Jack Kennedy type for president ever. It never worked out.
But, flashback, I mean, whoever thought we'd see somebody who was the host and the star of The Apprentice be president twice?
Well, that's the other. They have a whole other world of how they nominate people. That's a whole other crazy. These days, you're more likely to get nominated from them if you shoot your dog. And
bring us Pete Buttigieg. He can grind people on Fox News into dust.
I agree. I love Pete.
And he's cute.
And he's adorable.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Out actor Luke Evans to star as Dr. Frank-N-Furter in Broadway's new Rocky Horror revival. Fans of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, get ready to do the time warp again. Out actor Luke Evans, known for Beauty and the Beast and The Hobbit, will make the Broadway debut as the iconic Dr. Frank-N-Furter in a new revival of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at Studio 54. Directed by Tony Award winner Sam Pinkleton of Oh Mary. The show previews begin in March 2026 with opening night set for April 23rd. Tickets go on sale Friday, October 31st at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via roundabouttheater.org. And well, let me tell you, that man ain't no hobbit, and I bet we have plenty to see in that show.
Looks like a great show to take in.
I'm not quite sure about a sweet transvestite though. About that casting, it's something about that's not my tea.
Well, he's working against...
There's so many sweet transvestites in the world that I love so much. And I just don't really see him as a sweet transvestite.
But was Frank-N-Furter ever that sweet?
No, he wasn't, but he was definitely a transvestite.
Yes. And with that, he might remove the cause, but not the symptom. Well,
I'm not convinced, but let's see how it works out.
Yes.
Let's queer up Day culture. Halloween, the night queer history comes alive. The recent Fire Upstairs podcast discussed how Halloween has long been more than costumes and candy for the LGBTQ plus community. When queerness and cross-dressing were outlawed, the holiday gave queens and queers alike permission to dress to express, blending in while boldly standing out. It's no coincidence the Upstairs Lounge, a safe haven for queer and trans folks in New Orleans, opened on Halloween night in 1970. Learning this, Joey Hardy Gray, co-creator of the podcast, asked how did he not know this? His co-host, Ryan Killian Krause, rightly replied, quote, "No one else could tell our stories if we didn't tell them for ourselves," end quote. Well, I think this is refreshing to know we have to keep our history alive. And a great place like New Orleans, and over 55 years ago, we have to, honor and keep the memories and history of our LGBTQ elders alive, just like Stonewall.
I agree. And pay homage.
Absolutely.
Especially to these youngins, honey. You need to learn how to pay homage, okay? Press.
Exactly.
Learn. Listen and learn, okay?
And Halloween queers is more than just putting on, a harness and underwear and saying you're Batman. But the thing that I found most interesting is that the podcaster had to be reminded that this is the gay high holiday. I'm like, really? Like, have you met any queers? Like, ever?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember the good old days when I was up in New Jersey going to the New York, Halloween parade.
Oh,
and of course, it's absolutely a LGBT festival.
And also to, Wilton, I've been here for, I'm going to say next year, 20 years I've been here, living here.
Wow.
And I've seen a lot of wicked manners. And it is getting more and more straight couples are in the mix, which is great. And it just goes to show you how much fun we are as an LGBTQ.
Exactly. Some of my best nights looking like a bad streetwalker have been at Wicked Manor.
And I'm sure you met a couple nice guys.
Did you make any money?
I wish, girl.
A couple nice guys that are straight.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Jonathan Bennett unwraps 10 new holiday hunks in Finding Mr. Christmas Season 2. 'Tis the season for finding Hallmark Channel's next leading man. Jonathan Bennett returns to host Season 2 of Finding Mr. Christmas, spotlighting 10 new hunks including an out-gay hottie competing for a lead holiday role. A champion of queer inclusion, Bennett says, quote, "We're saying our love looks just like yours. That was my goal," end quote. The Season 2 lineup includes Drake Kuiper, Marcus Brody, Davey Fisher, Craig Gogan, Angel Garrett, Logan Shepard, Robbie Simpson, Gabriel Saxon, Rustin Saylor, and Jake Shum. Catch new episodes Monday at 8/7 on Hallmark Channel, with next day streaming on Hallmark Plus. As long as they're going to be shirtless a lot, I'll probably watch it, but at the same time, I'm not going to start watching the show until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Hey, I have to give Hallmark a lot of credit for doing these stories, especially this latest one with Jonathan Bennett and the cast and crew. they could really be, and I'm sure they're getting a lot of pressure from right-wing conservative groups. So I think it's phenomenal that Hallmark is standing up for this. I believe Hallmark makes a lot of their productions in Canada, so that may be partially part of the equation.
Yeah. But have they ever actually had a gay Hallmark rom-com on the network? Has it been just like, I don't think so.
I think they have, because I want to say that we've covered it on Queer News Tonight, but it's a sort of fact that I don't keep in my head, because queer holiday rom-com,
Yeah. But just wondering if they feature, the faggotry.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a good thing to see, especially in the political climate.
Yeah, I'd like to see a trans man on that too.
There you go.
Yes, trans men are hotties too. I know. Girl, let me tell you.
Trans men are letting us have it. Down. Sickening.
Let's queer up entertainment. Alan Cumming brings queer joy to the Highlands with Out in the Hills. Actor and activist Alan Cumming is bringing the LGBTQ plus joy to the Scottish Highlands with Out in the Hills, a new queer arts festival running January 16th through 18th of 2026 at Pitlochry Festival Theatre. Cumming told Pink News, quote, "This festival is needed right now. Let's have something about queer and trans people that's not negative," end quote. The event will feature film, theater, and music, including Cumming starring in Me and the Girls, and conversations with Graham Norton and Ian McKellen. Well, this sounds like a lot of fun, something different. And the fact that it's in another country, I think that that's wonderful. We need to really band together with our global allies, especially in our community, and make it happen. And I'm a big fan of Cumming from the time I saw him in Cabaret. So he is just an amazing actor, and the other folks, Ian McKellen, Graham Norton, this is great.
He is definitely a queer joy.
Absolutely.
A talented actor.
Yeah.
He was always great in so many things, whether it be Cabaret or X-Men. I only recently learned he voiced the wheelchair character in Rick and Steve, the Lego show, and I'm just you have no idea it's his voice. That's how good of an actor Alan is. So good job, man.
Wow, that's so cute.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Celebrity men who own the thirst trap game in 2025. My favorite topic. It's officially the year of the thirst trap. The hottest men in Hollywood turned up the heat in 2025, giving everyone's feeds a major glow up. Theo James went viral for his sizzling Dolce & Gabbana campaign, while Maluma's towel pics from Costa Rica nearly broke the internet. Walton Grogan celebrated the White Lotus fame with sexy outdoor shots, and Hassan Piker steamed up GQ in a bathtub. Freddie Stroma stripped down on Peacemaker. Kit Connor teased Heartstopper fans with a towel moment, and Bruno Alcantara wowed as RuPaul's Drag Race's pit crew lead. Thanks to these hunks, gay Twitter is absolutely thriving. And I'm sure folks are going to be shocked that my favorite of that group was, of course, my fave, Hassan Piker, but they were all hotties.
Absolutely, my God.
Yeah, Hassan. I mean, just saying that name, Hassan.
Get you going.
How are you?
If you like it, you'll have to see his podcast, Fear Ann, with Austin Show, who's a big old queen. Absolutely hilarious.
Work. Mm-hmm. I love it. Yeah, no, that's my favorite too. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to fight.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. Our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the entire world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and in sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Alex Moraj, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, Larry Farver and our guest, Dana Davis.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we wish you good night.